And treatment therapies are now being tailored accordingly.
Komen also supports research that can lead to a better quality of life for people dealing with breast cancer. News Source 16's Hannah Olson explains how one Oregon researcher looked at exercise to help women live and feel better.
In the early stages of breast cancer, women may receive hormone therapies, which can weaken their bones. That can lead to fractures or other injuries. Dr. Carrie Winter-Stone is an exercise scientist at the Knight Cancer Institute at the Oregon Health and Sciences University in Portland. She recently completed a 3-year study funded by Komen on the effects of exercise on women 50 years and older who had been diagnosed with breast cancer. Chemotherapy treatments are hard on the body and often zap a woman's energy, making her not want to exercise and adding to the risk of bone fractures and falls. She and her research team based their study on an exercise program designed at Oregon State University for women without cancer. Then she had breast cancer survivors follow that strength training program consistently for a year.
What we were interested in was, can we take those same programs that were effective in women without cancer and apply them to women who've gone through breast cancer treatment, and will they be equally effective? So can women with breast cancer train the same way at the same level that women without breast cancer can, so they can achieve the same benefits?
Here's what Dr. Winter-Stone found. After 1 year on the exercise program, the breast cancer survivors who participated were able to stop bone loss in their spine and develop 25% more strength in their arms and their legs. That helped them function better overall and reduce their risk of falls. I'm Hannah Olson for KMTR News Source 16.
Breast cancer doesn't just affect a patient's health. It can and does affect every facet of a person's life, their family, their finances, their job. And Komen recognizes that. That's why it has funded more than $143,000 in grants to pay for the Patient Navigator program locally at the Willamette Valley Cancer Institute and at Oregon Imaging. The Patient Navigator is a real person who works with those who have been diagnosed with breast cancer, answering questions and helping them navigate the often confusing and overwhelming medical system.
You don't know where to turn. You don't know which services are available. You've been told a bunch of clinical terminology that is hard to understand if you're not a nurse or a physician. So the Patient Navigator was really brought in to help the patient understand what's happening to them and what options are available and how we're going to move forward with their treatment.
At Willamette Valley Cancer Institute, the Patient Navigator works closely with the oncology care manager. That's what Gretchen Matsuoka does. She helps patients cope with the emotions that come with breast cancer.
You know, after you get a cancer diagnosis of any kind, your whole life just goes into a tailspin, and it affects finances, family, work, all of those issues. And so we focus in on helping the patients really identify what are the stumbling blocks.
Gretchen also connects patients with support groups if that is something that they're interested in.
Komen couldn't do the work that it does without so many people stepping forward to help raise money. The Race for the Cure, a perfect example. But as News Source 16's Angela Brower reports, there's a woman in Salem who's found another way to support the cause.
Chris Knox grew up on softball fields much like this one, so when her mother was diagnosed with breast cancer, she turned to the game she loves to offer her support. What she didn't know at the time, though, was that the next breast cancer diagnosis would be her own. One weekend each summer, dozens of softball teams from Oregon, Washington, and California gather at Wallace Park in Salem for Play for the Cure. Chris Knox started the tournament shortly before her mother died of breast cancer in 2002. The tournament is a fundraiser. Many of the players and spectators are breast cancer survivors. Every ball used in the 3-day tournament is dedicated in honor or memory of someone who's battled breast cancer. This year, more than 500 softballs were used during the 90 games that were played. While Chris started this tournament in honor of her mother's fight, just weeks before the tournament in 2009, Chris found a lump which turned out to be breast cancer.
Had I not been made aware and become very vigilant because of my mom's experience, I don't know how much longer it might have been before my cancer would have been found and how much worse my prognosis might have been. So it was just another reminder to me that I had a really great mom, and she is still taking good care of me.
To date, Play for the Cure has raised $150,000 for Komen, Oregon. Chris will present the money this year to Komen during the Eugene Race for the Cure. They've designated so half the money goes to breast cancer research and the other half goes to programs that help patients during treatment. For News Source 16, I'm Angela Brower.
The second annual Eugene Race for the Cure right around the corner.
And we're hoping that this year's event will be even bigger and better than the inaugural event. Last year, Komen saw the biggest turnout for a first-year race ever. More than 7,500 people braved the rain to join us at Autzen Stadium, and more than $500,000 was raised to support breast cancer screenings and programs in our local communities.
3 people will once again serve as the honorary chairs for this year's Eugene Race for the Cure. Dr. Kathy Chicola, who you heard from earlier in this broadcast. Also, University of Oregon President Richard LaRiviere and his wife Jan. They're leading a team called Ducks Go Pink. The LaRivieres attended last year's event along with Richard's sister Patty, who is a 3-time breast cancer survivor. The LaRivieres say the Race for the Cure gives us another opportunity to see Eugene at its best.
We saw the support that the sense of shared experience, the sense that you could get through this, other people have survived it. The Komen organization has been wonderful for that reason.
LaRiviere is a prostate cancer survivor, but he says that experience was nothing compared to watching his sister battle breast cancer. And this year, Jen's mother was diagnosed with breast cancer, but they've been told her prognosis is good.
Komen prides itself about being very open about where the money goes that it receives from Race for the Cure. In fact, for the last 5 years, Komen has gotten the highest rating from Charity Navigator, the premier watchdog group for charities. In the past 6 years, Komen, Oregon and the state of Oregon have invested more than $866,000 in Lane County alone, providing screenings and tests for uninsured women. Komen has helped women in rural areas access treatment. It supported the Patient Navigator program that we talked about, even small but important things like providing gas cards to help patients get to treatment.
We hope you've been inspired to join us at this year's Race for the Cure. It's coming up on Sunday, October 23rd at Autzen Stadium. You can find more information under the Race for the Cure tab on KMTR.com. Every woman who shared her story with us in the last half hour is alive today because of self-exams or regular mammograms.
We hope that if there's one thing that you take away from the broadcast, it's that you are the #1 advocate for your health.
So take this opportunity to empower yourself and take a stand.
So we can stand together, brave, tall, and proud. Hear our voices everywhere, singing out loud. Gonna make it a better day, yeah. Gonna make it a better day, yeah.
Faces of Breast Cancer was brought to you commercial-free by Oregon Imaging Centers and Willamette Valley Cancer